we'll get the mics working.
Boom.
Any second. Any second. Hi, how are you guys?
Hi.
Great.
Hello. There we go. You guys hear me? No. Hello? 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 No.
Ken?
Hello? They're still,
They went out.
They're still working.
The mics aren't working.
still really low.
Got it.
Hello?
Oh, wow, there you go.
Hello.
There we go. Yay. Well, first of all, thank you everybody in this room for showing up today. So give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Danielle Harris and Mr. Don Shanks for showing up today.
Mr. Shanks is my dad.
Welcome to Connecticut. And this is the Halloween panel. We're going to talk about Halloween today. I'm sure that's very shocking to both of you. So, I'm going to start off, and then I'm going to give most of the time to our audience to ask questions. But I'm going to start off by saying, you were both in you were in 5, you were in 4 and 5, and you were also in 2007's, you were in Rob Zombie's Halloween's. So you both have kind of a similar experience of coming into this established franchise, which is, a huge genre favorite. Is there a lot of pressure when you go into an established franchise, kind of carrying on your shoulders? And I know maybe you were a kid, so you didn't realize that's why.
I had no idea what the hell I was doing. This still shocks the shit out of me.
So was there any kind of pressure, or what was that like, stepping into those roles that were in a franchise that was so established and successful?
Were you like, fuck yeah, Michael Myers now?
Well, originally, Don Pike, who was the coordinator on the show, had called me. I lived in Salt Lake. And he said, we're in town, we're doing Halloween 5. Are you available to do stunts? And I said, yeah, let it go at that. And he called me back like 5 minutes later and he goes, well, you need to meet with the director. I go, for doing stunts? I go, well, we're thinking about you being Michael Myers. I go, oh, that's cool. So I went in and met with Dominique, and the only thing he really said to me was, I want you to walk like wood through water. And I thought about it, and I was like, okay. So I got up, and he goes, okay, that's perfect. He goes, but you need to be taller. I go, I can be taller. So. And then I got the part that, and then when I walked on set, Mustafa said, he's too tall. I go, I can get shorter. I took the lifts out.
You had, really? Huh. I didn't know you had lifts in your shoes.
Well, in the beginning, when I was about 6'4".
Holy shit.
When we actually started filming, I was 6'1".
Because George Wilbur in 4 had a hockey gear under his zippy, and then
I was the only Michael Myers that didn't have to wear pads.
yeah, Don didn't have to wear anything. He was a brick shit house. He was like huge.
They had one of our makeup artists did a little artist rendition that was Michael Myers as a Chippendales dancer.
Take off that mask.
Yes.
Whisked your hair around.
So, but as far as being kind of, I know you both have done things outside of the genre, but as far as being in the genre, in such a beloved franchise, I know I keep saying franchise, but you know what I'm saying, series,
Well, everybody knows who Michael Myers
right.
is.
It's a good one to be involved in, that's for sure.
And the 1 and 2, I think, were, classics.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of, came in and did something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as far
It was, abusing children.
Well, and that's an interesting point, because when you watch 4 and 5, and as the series goes on, and I'm sure most of you here have seen a lot of the Halloween movies, Dr. Loomis, played by the legendary Donald Pleasance, seems to be more and more unhinged as this series goes on. I mean, I think at one point in 5, he's like literally shaking you. I mean, you're at that point, how old are you, like 10, 11, shaking you. Jamie, he's a crazy man, shaking you and yelling in your face.
Well, he'd been stabbed.
Right. But what was that like, Donald Pleasance, like, in in that kind of version of Dr. Moon?
I have actually a funny story about that particular scene because everybody always wants to know what Donald Pleasance was like. I mean, I was 11. We didn't like hang out and talk, shop. You know what I mean? So, but I do remember when he came up to me in that scene and said, "Tell me what you know, Jamie," right? And I'm making this weird face. It's because he smelled weird. He smelled like bourbon. Now as an adult, I know what it was. But back then, I was like doing this weird face. So now when you guys watch it, I'm not reacting to being scared of Loomis. I'm reacting to like, what is that? It's my Donald Pleasance story. Don's got a good Donald Pleasance story about, your nose.
Oh. Well, in the scene where he has Jamie and they drop the net on me, not the net, the chain, he's beating me up with a 2x4. Yeah. And it was a foam piece of rubber, but there was a PVC pipe in the center of it, so it wouldn't bend. And as long as you hit it on the 4 side, it was padded. But he hit me with the 2 side and broke my nose. And
now when you watch that, you'll see him get his nose busted.
Well, they kept beating me up. I mean, everybody got to beat me up in that. Dominique beat me up. He goes, "Oh, that can't hurt." And I knocked him across the room with it. He goes, "Okay, let me try it." And then Don Pike and everybody was taking their shots at me. And, it's one of those things. And, I did a little, when he hit me, I went, and when they cut, Don Pike comes over to me and there's blood coming out of the mask. He goes, "Did he get you?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to stop?" I go, "No." I have never missed a day of work. I've had fingers cut off, I've broken my back, I've had teeth knocked out. It's like, no, we can keep going. But he was, when I'm laying on the ground and he's like, "Die, die, die," and he's laying on me, and the lights start flashing, and he whispers in my ear, he goes, "Now I get it, I abused you as a child." And if you watch the film, my chest going up because I was laughing underneath the mask.
Well, there were some pretty intense scenes in there, like the one when you're in the laundry chute and you're terrorizing her. As a kid, shooting that, were you really terrified?
The only thing that I was scared of the entire shoot was when I had to run in front of the car. Because I'm not good at remembering, it's like a total girl thing, I'm not good at remembering directions. So I remember Don and I talking about it and me having a clear path of this, you're gonna go through here at this tree, you're gonna go this way, you're gonna go around that, and then you're gonna stop there. But as a kid, you're all over the place, and I think I actually had food poisoning in real life during that. I was like throwing up on set, and it's the middle of the night, and there's all this smoke, and it's late, and there's nothing to save me if I miss a turn or if I fall, right? And Don's he's driving a car after me, which is really scary as a kid. So that was the only time that I was like, okay, I might die.
Yeah, but she wanted to do it. I mean, she's like, no, I want to do this. I want people to know it's me.
It's because they had a wig on my stunt double that was so bad.
And even at that age, you were aware?
I was like, I want to do it. I could do it. I mean, there's a trust, too, where like, my life is in his hands. I know it's not going to, in retrospect, as an adult, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. I mean, not with you, but, it's scary.
Well, one of the things I had to do, though, because the mask, if you look at it, there's netting over the eyes. And I said, okay, while I'm driving, we got to take the netting out because I'm getting these starbursts. We have so much smoke going. In one shot where I'm driving, the smoke is coming out my eyes. But she was a trooper. I mean, she was like, no, I can do this. Like, okay, you got to be here. I mean, when I'm stabbing that laundry chute, I can't tell where she is. We
I'm really in there. Yeah, I mean, it was an air conditioning duct because there was no laundry chute in this place we were filming at, and I wasn't harnessed or anything. They literally just they would hold my arms and lower me into it, and I would just wedge myself with my feet and my arms and just stick there. And then Don had no idea. It was like, oh, I think I'm right about here. Ting, ting, ting. Yeah, my leg's right about there. Okay, so I'm gonna just stab through and hope that you don't hit.
And where she was going to be, you know, and then on the outside I had it, you know, my little marks and stuff. But at one point they wanted to put a prosthetic leg on her and have me stab it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, because it was dangerous. I mean, we're using a lot, you know, real knives, real, you know, pitchforks, real size. You know, I was a master of arms. I've been, you know, a master fencer for years. And so, but it's kind of different when you're dealing with people. I mean, you know,
I could have slipped.
11-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And, you know, today they wouldn't let you do that.
No.
I mean, she did have a double, but she was better than the double. No, I mean, you know, as far as the running and all that, and she hit her marks perfect.
Thank God.
But it was nerve-wracking.
So what I'm going to do now, because we only have about 25 minutes to half hour for the panel, I'm going to open it up to take a couple questions from the... Oh, you had your hand up first.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey, how's it going? So I want to ask this question to Danielle. So I know you worked on the Rob Zombie ones. What was your first impression meeting with Rob in terms of like, did you think he really understood like the franchise? Like, were you impressed with like how dedicated he was to making his own vision of it? Like,
I mean, I'm a fan of his work, so I was stoked to work with him, and I love the way he writes women. So I think he's very real. I really liked the remake of Halloween. The second movie was interesting, you know. There were like 3 movies going on there, but I liked my stuff. Like, I mean, I'm not biased, but I felt like the storyline between like Brad Dourif or Sheriff Brackett and Annie and Laurie, like that seemed more true to Halloween. The other stuff was a little bit, you know, out there. But it was cool. The director's cut's better, but it was cool as a movie outside of the franchise. But I definitely liked his first one.
Next question. Leanne's helping us out. Thank you, Leanne.
But the knife could have been a little smaller.
Okay, Danielle.
Where are you? Raise your hand.
Right here.
Okay.
Right, Chris. Tell me everything you know. I'm just kidding. But the real question is, I'm
Oh,
wondering.
what's that, bourbon? Yeah.
Okay, so seeing that you were 10 years old when the movie came out, or at least when you were in it, did your parents let you watch the movie, or did they say, no, this is rated R, you can't watch this?
My mom is the worst trash mouth ever. I probably didn't want to watch it, and she was like, sit down and watch it. I mean, that's probably more from my mother. No, my mom didn't. I mean, listen, I grew up in Queens, Boiling Island. I grew up in Queens. My mom was from Brooklyn. She does not give a shit. Did you see The Last Boy Scout? Yeah. That's kind of like how I talk. I mean, as if you haven't figured that out.
Okay.
What was your thoughts on the way they killed Jamie Lee Curtis off in Resurrection? Did you hear that?
Well, she keeps saying it doesn't matter how people die in these movies. They just keep coming back. Right? I haven't seen 2018 yet, though.
What?
Okay, here's the plan. Wait.
People are genuinely dismayed at that.
It's not like I'm like, oh, I won't go see it. I've been like pregnant and having children, so I've been a little bit busy, but here's the idea. So I had this idea, and while you're all here, I might as well pitch my show to you. So I'm not great on social media. I try to be better. I don't post a lot of stuff. I don't know. But I do like talking about horror movies. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen, a lot of movies I have seen. You guys have seen way more than I've seen. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this idea. You know, back in the day, you'd buy the DVD and it'd be like commentary. And like, you're all here to hear about our stories, right? So there's a lot of movies I haven't seen. So how cool would it be if I did something? So I bought this name called Common Terror with Danielle Harris. So I have this room in my house since I just moved them, and I set all these cameras, and I'm going to do some cool live streaming stuff where I watch movies for the first time with you guys. So we get to like have a conversation about it, and I get to invite my special friends over that may be in the movie, and we could tell you some really cool stories, because everybody will tell me stuff that they won't tell other people, and we could have a bourbon, right? and we can watch it. So I think for like the debut of it, and it's going to be all real, it'll be live. So you guys can like tweet me and Facebook me and ask questions about stuff. So we're like watching a movie together, because I don't know about you, but I don't really have anything to do on a Friday night. So I thought it might be kind of fun. So Halloween 2018 is going to be the first movie that I'll watch. So you guys will see my real reaction, like, oh, that was really shitty, or wow, that was really good, or I don't believe that actress did that, that sucked, or I can't believe I'm not in this fucking movie. Right? So it's an idea that I had of like, what would be fun that I haven't really seen much, because our little horror community needs to kind of stick together. So I think it'd be fun. Again, there's a lot of movies I haven't seen, like I would like to watch. Like my friend Philip, like, well, I won't even tell you. I just have a bunch of fun things planned for you guys. So in October, I'll have that.
So that's
there you
going to be in October coming up?
Yeah, that's sort of my idea. And it's very real. Like I'm going to be trying to figure out like how to switch cameras and do all this stuff by myself. It's just going to be me in my house on a couch with like, you know, Kane Hodder and Don Shanks, and we're going to watch like Sleepaway Camp. I don't know. Because a lot of people haven't seen those movies either, you know, like some of the classic stuff. So that's just an idea that I have. So keep your eyes out for it.
Guys, way back. Dan, way back.
Way
The
back.
white shirt. Yeah, his hand up. He's in the way back.
Hi Danielle. Basically, my question for you is if you'd be willing to shed some light on being a child actor in horror films, and like how that sort of like went down. Like, do they sort of shelter you in that regard, or like how that sort of works?
No, actually, it's the opposite. I think that I was a part of everything and really treated like an adult. I mean, we had this the same relationship we have now is the relationship we had when I was a kid. You know, I knew that he wasn't gonna hurt me. So I think that the worst thing to do, and just like in real life, like you don't want to shelter your kids, because then when they're exposed to it, they're gonna freak out. So you have to expose your kids to certain things as long as it's in a safe environment. So I was not, I mean, I was in the barn during the sex scene, because I was like Tamara Glenn, who played, I can forget her name in the movie.
No.
The blonde, pretty blonde. No, it wasn't Tina. Wendy played Tina. Sammy. Thank you. Like she wanted me in the room when she had her sex scene. I was like 12. But I was like, yeah, cool.
Well, and the one thing that all the actors, if they weren't in the scenes, they still came to set and they supported everybody else. You know, I mean, she was like one of the guys.
Yeah,
You know?
still am.
No, I'm still. You know, it's like, you know, she was part of it, you know. I mean, nobody was excluded. Age, sex, or whatever, you know, everybody was kind of in this having a good time.
Yeah, it's movies in the 80s. They don't make them like that anymore.
No. Well, everybody's got the damn thing. I won't go into that.
Anybody else have a question?
Right here in front.
Hey guys, thank you for being here. Halloween 5 is my favorite in the franchise because of the truth of your performance. And I love the look of it, like the lighting, how it starts off really bright and then it goes to dark. So I was wondering if you could share anything that Dominique had expressed as a vision that you feel like did not come across in the film. And I know it was announced recently that they found a bunch of footage from Halloween 5, like deleted scenes. So would you guys share anything that you know was deleted, and would you participate if they're doing like a Blu-ray with the footage? Would you guys come back to participate in that?
Well, Rob Draper was probably, I mean, he's one of the best DPs I worked with, you know, and I think Halloween 5 has the best look of any of the ones that, you know, it's more artistic. You know, there was a scene in the beginning where I'm coming down the river, and the character was Dr. Death, I think they were calling him. He's Theron Reed. He was a punk comedian in Salt Lake, and you know, bone thin, but he's doing these incantations over me, which Mustafa, I guess, didn't like because it was actually got the stuff from real witches. And he puts the tattoo on me, the thorn. And above me, I'm on a stone altar, and above me is a rock that looks like a stalagmite. It's hanging from a string, you know, with a point on it. And on Halloween, the rock stops. I reach over, get the mask. He comes over, I grab him by the throat. I pick him up over my head, I break his back, and I throw him on the altar and put the rock through his chest. You know, that didn't make it to the movie. You know, it's some old guy with a parrot.
I think that's the scene that they found.
And I killed the whole SWAT team that they didn't show. I mean, I put an M16 through a guy's head, I twisted another guy's head around, stomped him into the, you know. I mean, you know, you hear everybody screaming, you know, but they don't show it. And then all of a sudden I'm driving. And how Michael Myers learned how to drive, I don't know. But I damn well did a good job. Wrecked it, but you know. But anyway,
Hi,
I mean, that's,
Don.
I know this. It actually, I mean, I was told it was fighting an X rating because of the violence. And so a lot of the stuff had to be cut out.
Would you guys participate if they're assembling like a director's cut, if they find that footage?
How would we participate? What do you mean?
Oh, like for new interviews or like?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But that's back before video. So, I mean, if they destroyed the negative, you know.
The official Halloween Movies website announced, they showed like pictures of boxes, and I think they already said that they found the scene that you were talking about.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to
That'd
see
be
it.
awesome, me too.
I thought it was one of my better kills. I mean, I kill like a champion, but you know, that was an MPV.
Hi, Don and Danielle.
Hi.
I just have to ask, you guys are part of what I think is the quintessential classic horror film. And no matter which films you were involved in the franchise, where you guys came in are just awesome. So thank you for that, adding to the terror in my nighttime. I want to know, do you guys have any real deep-seated fears in your everyday life, whether it's from things that you've done in the genre or just things that you're really afraid of? Because I'm afraid of you guys.
I have really irrational fears. I do not like elevators. So I will walk the stairs whenever this elevator here is really scary. I've been stuck 3 times in an elevator by myself, so I will walk the stairs. I'm okay if I'm with somebody, I just don't want to get in by myself. So I'll wait. If you see me waiting by the elevator, it's because I'm waiting for you to get in with me. And I don't like fish. I don't eat seafood, and I have fish, I have a little fish tank for my son. My husband was very surprised that I bought a fish. But like if I'm in the ocean and a fish comes near me, it's like it could be this big and it's like a shark to me. But I do love the water, so I'm afraid of fish in elevators and gremlins, but other than that, no.
I've been married 47 years, nothing scares me.
Yeah! Hey, is Dan over there? Guy right there on the end?
Okay.
Yep.
Hello? Danielle, have they reached out to you yet?
No.
They haven't?
No.
Because I've been looking online on Instagram and stuff like that, and I haven't seen it. I know that we're trying to get you back in the new film, so that's what we're...
I actually recently had a conversation with them. I actually called and said, did I do something?
Yeah.
Does someone hate me that I'm unaware of? Please tell me that I didn't do anything. And they just said, no, we love you. We talk about you all the time. But none of the characters existed after Halloween 2. So that's really all that it is. That it's just a timing thing, and they love me and blah, 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 whatever.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything.
We got another question over there. Leon's getting there.
Were you both approached for Curse or H2O or Resurrection?
No, I was, originally they had called me about doing part 6, and that's when I first started going out and doing the HorrorFest, for Fangoria and stuff. And then it was on again and off again, and then they changed it. And so, they didn't want anybody that was part of part 5. And I auditioned for the last one that was done. And they say, can you walk like Michael Myers? Yeah, I think so.
This is so weird.
And I think we have time for maybe one more. I think you both have lines.
Hi, this one's for Danielle. So my question is, in The Curse of Michael Myers, how did you feel about J.C. Brandy taking on the role of Jamie?
JC's a girlfriend of mine, so we were friends afterwards. I feel bad for her. You know, she got a lot of like heat for it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in so many years, but just the script changed a lot of times. And Dan Ferentz, who originally wrote it, is a friend of mine, and it was not the script that I had signed on to do. And there was a lot of like weird stuff. And I know Jamie was supposed to have like Michael Myers' baby, and just like really weird. I don't have any idea. So I'm kind of glad it wasn't me. I would have liked to work with Paul Rudd, but other than that, you know, I don't know. They do some weird things sometimes. It's like they make like one or two good ones and they make like a shitty one, or they make another good one then a shitty one. Like they can't quite figure out like just to keep it consistent.
Well, thank you very much.
Could I say one thing?
Absolutely. You can say
I just
whatever
want
you
to
want.
thank you people for being our fans.
Yeah.
Because without you,
Everything know us.
but thank you for being so loyal.
I always say there's no convention for terms of endearment, you know? Like
Thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate you coming out.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And we're going to get in the elevator now.
And thank Christine for putting on this awesome show for you guys in Connecticut. Hello.